Hello folks, and welcome back this week to my new channel called Cooking with Mary Sue. This week I am going to fix cabbage and beef soup. Sometimes you might think that might be something for the winter time, but it's good anytime if you like cabbage and beef. And there are a few more ingredients than just cabbage and beef in it, but we'll get started with the basics for the moment. And of course I'm going to be cooking it in my Copper Chef. I love my Copper Chef, and the knife is Copper Chef also. I don't think I would enjoy cooking as much as I do if I wasn't cooking a Copper Chef. It is so easy to clean. It makes cleaning a breeze. But let's get started now. You start off with, right here I have half of a head of a big cabbage. Sometimes I use 1 pound. I try to find a small cabbage, just 1 pound. But if I can't find a small one, which I couldn't the other day at Kroger's when I went by there, I couldn't find a big one. So I just got a big one and cut it in half. Okay, we're going to start chopping it up. There. This doesn't usually take very long just to chop. You're going to dice it in big pieces, big chunks. There. Put it all in there together. Finish chopping a little bit more. This will cut down really small. It looks like a lot, but it's not when you get through. When I throw this all together, I'll have a whole pot full. It'll be all the way to the top, full of stuff. Time it cooks down, gets through a little bit, it'll be about half full. There. Got the cabbage in there. Next, this is 4 cups or 2 cans of beef broth. Just regular 14.5 ounce can, beef broth. I got 2 of them here, which equals 4 cups. Okay. Going to put in 2 cups of water. Let's see. Beans. Now you can use any kind of beans you want. Anything's your favorite, doesn't matter. My husband loves pinto beans, so that's what I use most of the time. I have made it with northern beans, navy beans, green beans, kidney beans, just any bean will do. But most of the time I use pinto beans. Don't drain them. Put everything in there, all the juice. All this juice will come in handy, you'll need it. I have a garbage can down there. I'm not putting stuff on the floor. The next thing is a can of diced tomatoes. Right here I have a can of petite dice. It doesn't matter. They can be petite, big size, little size. And these are a can of just regular diced tomatoes, no flavor to them. If you wanted to, you could use this kind. Is has garlic and olive oil in it. This is a chili ready tomatoes. I use this when I make chili. And I use this flavor when I make spaghetti. But in this soup, I just want to use a plain flavored tomatoes. Okay. All that's in there. Okay. This is about 2 stalks of diced up celery. Now normally I always keep 3-4 bags of celery and onions and bell pepper all diced up in my freezer all the time. Every time I go to the store, I bring some back and I chop it up and leave it in the freezer. It comes in handy for making soups and stews. Now you gotta know, when you thaw out these frozen vegetables, they're gonna be really soft and mushy. So about the only thing you can put them in a soup and stew, they won't be crunchy. Which doesn't matter because they're gonna cook down in the soup anyway. Next I will add, let's see, 1 teaspoon of paprika. Just spread it all around. There. Next is a teaspoon of kosher, no, that's not kosher, sea salt. Teaspoon of sea salt. I keep different salts on hand all the time. Plain salt, kosher salt, and sea salt. This is sea salt. And let's see, paprika that, oh yeah, pepper. I almost forgot pepper. Just a teaspoon of pepper. You can add more if you like it hotter. Just a teaspoon of pepper. If you want to make this a little bit spicy, you could add a little bit of crushed red pepper, cayenne pepper, or even chili powder. And if you don't have any celery on hand to use, you could use celery flakes. This would take about maybe 4 tablespoons of celery flakes in here. Okay, let me see, the cabbage and the beef. Let me get this stirred up for the moment. Like I said, this does cook down quite a bit while it's cooking. It gets smaller. You know it's done when all the cabbage is nice and soft and tender. I'll start this out on between high and medium high and let it come to a boil for about 5-10 minutes, then put it down to simmer. I'll put it down between medium and medium low and let it cook for usually at least about an hour and a half. Between an hour and a half and 2 hours until everything's nice and tender and soft. Now if you want to cook this a little bit faster, just leave the temp up higher and it'll get done faster if you're in a hurry. And this would be wonderful in a crock pot. You can put it in a crock pot or a slow cooker while you're at work all day, or let it cook overnight, wake up to it. All these pieces of cabbage will cook down smaller and they'll break apart. They won't be this big time you get through. And halfway through the cooking, keep checking on it, stirring it about every 15-20 minutes. If it looks like it's getting to be a little bit too thick, just add you another can of beef broth or a cup of water. I normally keep about a case of beef broth and chicken broth on hand all the time for cooking. Now, the next main ingredient is the beef. Here's 1 pound of ground beef that I cooked a little while ago in my Copper Chef skillet, of course. I'm going to add the beef. Now, it looks like it won't fit. Looks like you got almost too much. But like I said, this will cook down. When you get through cooking this thing will only be about half full. Like I said, I don't drain the tomatoes and don't drain the beans. Stir all this up together. This is really good, like on a nice cold day in the wintertime. But cabbage is good in the summer too. It's a nice summer vegetable. I love cabbage anytime. And this goes great with some of that cornbread I made a few weeks ago. I keep a couple of bags of that cornbread in my freezer all the time. This is going to be my husband's supper tonight. A big bowl of this hot soup and a slice of that cornbread. I'll cook this on high for a little bit or medium high for about 5 minutes. Let it come to a boil. And then turn it down and let it simmer for about an hour and a half. Now, I don't have time to wait for that to cook. So I made another batch this morning. I made that big pot this morning full, like you see it. By the time I got through with it, it filled up the smaller pot. But see, there it is, all cooked. It's nice and tender. You've got beef, cabbage, beans, tomatoes, a few spices. And it smells yummy. If you love vegetables, you'll love this. Nice, good cabbage and beef soup. You can use any beans in it, any type of tomatoes. It was good that time I put green beans in it, because I love green beans. My husband's not too crazy about them. He likes pinto beans best. If you don't have beef, you can make this with chicken. I tried it one time with chicken and northern beans. That was really good. Okay, that's all for this week. I hope you join me next week and we'll be cooking up something new again together. Y'all have a good day. See you next week.